I'm Jeff Hunt. He's Bill Thorpe. It's Friday.
Just wait, one of us might commit sedition. Yeah, odds are it's me. I know.
Well, we know where you go if you do, Bill.
Yes, we do.
Hang 'em, string 'em up, like George Washington would have. Bill, I don't.
I could use help with my back.
Bill,
A little traction, that could help.
Look,
honestly.
I don't want you to be hung by any means. Don't
Just flogged?
But yeah, flogging.
There's a punishment you can get behind.
Only if I get to do it, sir.
I deserve it sometimes. I have to be honest. I deserve it sometimes.
Bring one of those like paddles from the fraternities out.
Oh, I remember those. Yes. Oh God, yeah. I remember a teacher when I was in elementary school that had a paddle that had holes drilled in it so that they could create more velocity. That was great.
Say that again?
The teacher that I had a teacher in elementary school that had a paddle. You get paddled in class, and they had drilled holes.
They
in
actually paddled you in class?
Yes. I am that damn old, and they would, and there were air holes in it,
wonderful
and it
to
was
see brought back.
because they could create more velocity. Yeah, so this teacher had thought it through. Like, I'd gone through the physics idea. Yeah, which I still think about. I still see that thing hanging on the wall. Yeah, I know where it is.
I often get a lot of criticism on those thoughts of bringing back corporal punishment into schools. And I just want to remind everybody, we covered this. Half of all the teachers have been hit by students in the state.
Yeah.
So why we allow that to happen?
Yeah. For me, it's...
when we could just flip it around. Maybe a little flogging might help.
Yeah. I would just say if they hit you, you get to hit them back. And then you're held harmless. Go right ahead. Anything that happens, go right ahead. We will still hold the kid
with
responsible.
holes in it.
Yeah, we'll still hold the kid responsible for it, but the teachers or the security guards get a pass. Go right ahead. Let's see what happens.
Let's go to Marie in Denver. Good morning, Marie. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Bill. I have two things to say, but the most important thing that I have to say is Jason Crow should come on your show. And if he doesn't, he's a coward. It makes me very, very angry to see him on CNN, ABC, MSNBC, and I'm unaffiliated, but I always vote blue. And yet he won't come on your show. He has an obligation to come on your show and explain what he did and why.
We agree with you, Marie, and here's the thing. If we would bring you into the parking lot with your car and you would open the doors and then turn the radio up to 10 with your car in our parking lot, people in his office that's just about a half a block away could hear. That's how close we are, and he still refuses to walk over here. Yeah.
There is no reason for that, absolutely no reason. And it makes, as I say, I was mad before because I knew he wouldn't come on, and he's always on the station. The other thing I want to say real quick is, and I'm old, I'm 84, and I remember the big movements in the end of the 50s and in the 60s, and they were young people who did civil rights at the cost sometimes of their own lives. And I didn't do that, didn't have the guts, but I was part of a group. What can we do? Where can we go? And Kennedy gave us directions. Charlie Kirk and his loss was a tragedy for this country. And then also the mayor of New York, whose name I can never pronounce. Those two are absolutely the future, even though what they believe is categorically opposed. I don't agree with either of them. But if you wanted to oppose either of them, you would use the political stance of the other. But they both started out on their own. They didn't have consultants or big money. They didn't ask permission from the big heads. They did it on their own, and they talked to young people. And I think that's the future. That's all I have to say.
Oh, thanks, Marie. Appreciate that.
There's a lot there to clip out.
Yeah, there's a lot. And Jason Crow never come on the show.
Jason, you're going to get an email with
never.
Marie's audio because she's a constituent. She votes blue. She wants to hear you on the show.
He really should come on.
Jason, the Mile High Mockingbird Crow.
That is a good one. And again, as Jeff is giving him the Mile High Mockingbird nickname, we want to give you a nickname. When you text the show, we want to throw on your nickname. So what you got to do is when you text us, just say, hey, add my nickname this. We will change it in the system. Referring to you as a phone number the last couple of days, that's stupid and boring. We want you to be a part of the show. We want you to engage in the conversation, even if you only have to pick up that phone and text it because you're so busy in the morning. At least you're spending time with us. This is a community. We're friends here. Yes, we disagree, but we still have a lot of fun. So send us your nickname. We've got Bean Checkered this morning, of course. Gabe, everybody knows Joan from Littleton. Suzanne, Iggy, Steven,
Lakewood.
L-I-J is in there. Yeah, Joan from Lakewood. Tyler from Golden. We've got Sweet Old Bill that's up there this morning. Julie in Denver
These are
has texted us.
SOB.
Yeah, SOB, which is fantastic. So Namir has texted us in this morning. Jacqueline, of course, all the way from Nebraska. Doug's up there. We'd love to add your name as
Bucky
well.
just jumped in.
Hey, Bucky, I'm going to change your name right now, man. I'm going to shut my mouth. Here, I got to change your name in the system.
All right, we'll continue. Larry, you'll be up next. We do have some open lines if you want to dive in and have this conversation with us about Trump calling the Democrats in that video engaging in seditious behavior, punishable by death. I think he's exactly right to call him out and end this type of behavior. But I could be wrong. So join the conversation. 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. Now it's time for news and comment with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Good morning, TGIF. 41 and cloudy in Denver, expecting a high of 51 today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story, Kami Dani, sitting down with 47 this morning at the White House.
Mayor-elect Mamdani says he's concerned about the meeting, saying he sees it as a chance to make his case for all New Yorkers. Some New Yorkers more confident in Mamdani's abilities to find common ground with the president than others.
He's so diplomatic. He's not going to run for president. Mamdani cannot. He was born in Uganda. He cannot, but he can keep New York safe.
Can't help it. I've seen, Venezuela and Vietnam and Cambodia and North Korea. I'm not a socialist. What can I say?
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says she thinks it speaks volumes that Mamdani is coming to the White House, adding it speaks to the fact that Trump is willing to meet with anyone. I'm Natalie Migliori, NBC News Radio.
And DJT calling for Colorado U.S. Rep. Jason Crow and 5 other Democrats to face trial, accusing them of seditious behavior over a video advising troops they can refuse illegal orders.
They are literally saying to 1.3 million active duty service members not to defy the chain of command.
As Press Secretary Leavitt, the initial video shows the lawmakers telling service members they have the right to refuse orders that violate the law or Constitution. The group of lawmakers did not specify the nature of what was meant by illegal, unlawful, or unconstitutional. 47.
We just don't like Trump. We don't like Donald Trump.
Yeah. DJT,
what do you mean by
TDS?
Trump's pitting troops against American citizens. We know this is hard, and you must refuse illegal orders. What do you mean?
Yeah.
We just don't like Donald Trump. We don't know what to do.
It's his tone.
Golly.
It's his tone. It's just they could just destroy
And
anything.
look, guys,
Greatness.
just a reminder. We, the people of Colorado, could have John Fabricatore in that seat.
Ooh,
That's why.
that's
That's
a great
why when
point.
people are like, "We just need to run better
man.
candidates," I'm like, "No, we run great candidates."
Absolutely.
John Fabricatore, Danielle Drinsky, they're all really great, talented people.
Man.
And you just
Two
get
of the best.
sucked into this world where that guy,
Yeah.
Jason, the Mile High Mockingbird, Crow, becomes the congressman.
Exactly. God.
He's so cute.
I love it. 47 called it seditious behavior. punishable by death, as we just mentioned, though Levitt clarified he does not want them dead. Here's a Cutie Crow.
President Donald Trump threatened to have me arrested and executed simply for reminding our service members of their oaths to follow the Constitution and to defend the rule of law.
KNUS Hall of Famer George Brockler.
This video tries to plant the seeds of doubt in the minds of our soldiers, sailors, airmen. It tries to suggest that what's going on right now needs extra scrutiny from them, and they need to question the orders that they receive from their chain of command. That's dangerous.
Yes. Common sense.
No, there's a universe somewhere out there where Jason Crow is brought before a military tribunal, and George Brockler is the judge of it. And, oh, it's so beautiful. But that doesn't exist in this universe.
No, it doesn't. All right, to me, this is the biggest story of the week. KUTV investigative report in Salt Lake City.
On September 17th, 2025, Washington County Sheriff Nate Brooksby held a press conference.
Our job was not to interview, our job was just to get him here.
After Charlie Kirk's alleged shooter was taken into custody in Washington County less than 2 days after the shooting.
Within the hour, my friend drove Tyler and his parents to my office, where he was greeted by plainclothes detectives.
After learning of this, I submitted a public records request to obtain any video of Tyler Robinson walking into the jail facility. Washington County responded, saying there were no records responsive to the request, as Robinson did not go to the jail area. Our request for any holding room video was denied. A few weeks later, I re-upped the request on a more generalized scale for surveillance video showing Tyler Robinson walking into the sheriff's office.
For the state of Utah, we would certainly hope that this video is available.
The response? Our office does not have any applicable records responsive to this request, as the surveillance footage is no longer available after the 30-day retention period.
If, in fact, it has been destroyed and not preserved, it's very concerning. And if it has, then it's very concerning that they're telling you they don't have it. If they no longer have it, I would have expected to say that this video has been provided to the Utah County law enforcement. Please contact them. But instead, this letter leads, in my opinion, as trying to shut the door and not give you free access to the press.
While it's not clear if the video exists and was just handed over to another agency, in a response to me, Washington County shared with me they don't believe the video was shared with anyone involved in the case.
Wanting to get videos showing that he turned himself in and the manner he did so would be crucial for the defense work of mitigation.
And the questions continue to pile up. Keep an eye on that.
I mean, is the concern in that he didn't turn himself in, or what? Or
I don't know.
What?
I mean, where is the evidence that he turned himself in? All the video that we see is blurry. I mean, for the most part.
How do we think he got in custody then?
I do not know. That's what.
But again,
he said he came to his office. So wouldn't there be a security video showing 24 hours?
Yeah,
right.
Here's the larger question I have.
Mm-hmm.
The implication of this is what? Because the idea that we don't have
that it didn't happen.
That he never surrendered?
That he did
is he not in prison?
Well,
that's what I can't figure out. I can't figure out where, if we say, okay, this doesn't exist, then what?
From what I get, okay, the sheriff said he came to his office. Where's the evidence of that? So
that would prove what, though? I mean, again, I can't figure out what.
I don't know.
The idea of if he went to the sheriff's office, or he went to another lawmaker's office, or they went to a Hardee's. But if he's in custody and if he's a guy that was arrested, I fail to see what the importance is in this particular video. Why is the location of where he is when he surrendered?
Because he said
Why is it important,
because
though?
he said he came to his office.
But why is it important? I can't figure out.
Did he lie?
I know.
Is the story true?
Okay, now if
so
let's say it's a lie.
so
Let's say
then
he's not
the
told the story, then
implication,
what?
I guess, is that the law enforcement's lying.
Oh, come on.
I think that's
what I get.
For me, it's not that big of a deal. I think it's very hard to get FOIA requests on surveillance video. Case in point, I still haven't gotten the video of me getting kicked and assaulted down. I'm at like the
There's
third.
no security.
There is. I can't get it. It's like the third agency.
That's
I've
right.
had to fill out a FOIA request.
That's right. They still haven't given you that.
And I got
You
an
can't
email.
see it?
I got an email saying I got to go to somebody else to get it. And I was just like, fill
So
out
who do you
another
have
form.
to? Who
knows
did they
at
give
this
it
point?
to?
Who knows? But
Wow.
they apparently there's surveillance footage of me being assaulted that was used in the negotiations with the guy.
I thought you saw that.
No,
Oh,
I still haven't
wow.
gotten it. But that may just be how dumb some of these FOIA requests are. But
True.
I mean, I think what Blake seems to be saying is that, and you could correct me if I'm wrong,
No, that's
Mr.
fine.
Olson, is that look, these guys might be lying.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what it looks like, but I don't know. I know nothing. I know nothing. It just doesn't, none of it adds up to me.
Yeah. At some point in the conspiracy theorists, when they get into this, they're going to have to explain why we have a guy in prison that then would not be the person that pulled the trigger, that volunteered or was paid to go to prison, face charges, and possibly even a death penalty or life in prison because he didn't do it. That's the thing that we have to wrap our head around. That eventually you have to convince someone to take the fall for a capital offense that they didn't do. That again, in the conspiracy theorists, again, when they're talking about did he do it, you have to explain that too. You'd have to explain again, as we're listening to theorists, they have to explain that. If they can't explain why he's willing to take the fall, they're full of crap.
I'm just playing the reports, and we'll see what happens. Or maybe we won't. Ever. Avs go for 7 wins in a row last night.
Here's Marty Natchez. Long shot off the iron from a goal. Score! Nathan McKinnon.
A tink. I love that. Hear the puck hit it. 6-3 over the Rangers. The Avs have scored a point in every game but one. They're 14-1-5. The Texans beat the Bills 23-19 last night. Houston now 6-5. The Bills 7-4. Broncos off this weekend. Shedeur Sanders starts for the Browns against the Raiders on Sunday. Everyone will be watching that. The Raiders are terrible. However, it is an NFL football game. It'll be extremely interesting with Shedeur in there. College football tomorrow, ASU at CU, CSU at Boise State. Big one at the Academy, New Mexico at Air Force. New Mexico has won 4 straight and 7-3. Jason Eck has done an incredible job at New Mexico. Nevada at Wyoming, Portland State at UNC against the Bears as they close out the regular season. 40 in Aurora, 39 in Arvada, and 41 in Denver. You're waking up with Jeff and Bill. Get your nicknames into Billy. I love it. It's Friday morning. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
A storm system lifting north and east out of Arizona will clip the Front Range and eastern plains of Colorado with some upslope, some cooler, wet weather coming to the Front Range. Clouding up, temperatures in the low 50s today. Showers developing by afternoon. Areas of rain and fog tonight may be mixing with a little bit of wet snow. This will be especially true Palmer Divide and foothills. Some of these rain and snow showers and areas of fog will linger into early Friday, then partly cloudy, and back into the 50s for the weekend. Meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
All right, Bill, let's play the audio again, just because I think it might be helpful for people just to hear this nice after-school special about your constitutional rights regarding illegal orders. Just keep that in mind.
Shout out to everybody that knows that peacock sign, a little star that runs through. Yes, exactly. And remember what G.I. Joe told us. Knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, that's right. Because that's what Jason Crow said.
Yes.
The president's all worked up over nothing. This is just my friendly constitutional reminder. Here it is.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens.
Like us. You all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law
or our Constitution.
We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
the Army, or Navy,
the Air Force,
your vigilance is critical.
And know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
the American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws,
our Constitution,
and who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
More like go sink the ship. Don't give up the ship. Bill, they said we want to speak directly to the members of the military.
Yeah.
You said earlier that this was intended for the general public. It was a political statement.
Yeah, and that's true. Because the military members...
We want to speak directly to the military.
Yeah, I get it. But it's performative marketing. That's all this is. Because the military members know this. Jeff, there was a study that was done in a poll that was done in August of this year that 75% of those service members that were surveyed said they understood the issue about illegal orders and disobeying them.
This
and
is not just performative.
Wait, hang on a sec. That's before this video. And they got down to about 9% of the respondents that would not be able to identify what an illegal order was based on their knowledge. That's 9%. So this audience is not military. This is performative.
Bill, this is a direct effort to sow dissension and doubt with our troops.
Not at all.
The president was absolutely right to call this out. It is seditious behavior. In fact, the force of his condemnation, even to the elements of you may face death for this type of action, was the right type of strength to shut down this Democratic crap. Let's go to Larry in Denver. Good morning, Larry. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Hey, morning, Larry.
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen. Yeah, I just wanted to start off this piece real quick. And as I listen, we're talking about free speech, and I'm just looking at my conservative brothers and sisters. And I really, just over all the decades and years that I've heard them, talk, and free speech, it seemed to be everything. But then when we hear our president talk, and when he disagreed with something, and I just find that contradictory, is, whether it be journalists or whoever, they should be fired, they should be put in jail, and now he's saying they should be executed, because he disagreed with what's coming out of their mouth. But I think that's what America is. Now, to my point is, and what I'm really concerned about, and I think there's been a trial balloon sent out, and I think this has been in planning for, 20 to 30 years, from my reading and hearing everything. But I don't know if people caught wind of it, is that a new policy, it's not about speech, but it's a new policy that just came out, and this is a trial balloon on my belief, is that the United States Coast Guard will no longer classify swastikas and nooses as hate symbols. Now, when that goes and ties into, it goes to the next level, is the military. So there's things going on behind the scenes. Now, I'm asking both you guys, tell me what redeeming value is that they will make that a policy. So it goes from what you believe out there to now there's a policy. And this is the trial balloon in my own belief. And that's so dangerous. So tell me what's the redeeming value of that?
The redeeming value of what?
The new policy is the United States Coast Guard will no longer classify swastikas and nooses as hate symbols.
So they walked that back. Here's what the Associated Press said, that the United States Coast Guard has released a new, firmer policy addressing the display of hate symbols like swastikas and nooses just hours after it was publicly revealed that it made plans to describe them as potentially divisive, a term that prompted outcry from lawmakers and advocates. Divisive or hate symbols and flags are prohibited. The latest Coast Guard policy, released late Thursday, declared before adding that this category included a noose or swastika or any symbols or flags co-opted or adopted by hate-based groups. This is not an updated policy, they write, but a new policy to combat any misinformation and double down that the U.S. Coast Guard forbids these symbols.
Okay. So this is why I said, and this is how it goes. This is the trial balloon. So you put it out there, you see what the pushback is, and you go. In my opinion, this is all going to go not only for the Coast Guard, this is for businesses, this is for everything, in my opinion. So
Larry, do you think that this is an effort to advance white supremacy?
You know what? So what I would think is what David Duke and all of the people, I'm saying there's going to be champagne popping over the weekend because they've been waiting to get this from underground. They've been trying to get this hydrated for a long time.
Larry, you think there's a group of white supremacists acting in our government to advance white supremacy ideology?
Oh, there's no doubt. There's all kind of people acting. There's people in there to do great things, and there's people who have their own private agenda. I don't believe. I believe MAGA. There's great things with MAGA. There's horrible things with the far left, and everybody has their agenda. So the problem, if you don't have your eyes wide open, is going to be right there on your front desk. So remember now, it's like they walked it back, but that's part of the plan, is to stick it out there to see what the pushback is. That's just like the president did with the tariffs. He was strong about it, but when the people came back and say, hey, these things are impacting us, he walked some of it back. Why? Because it was political and it was too tough. But in the beginning, he's saying, okay, this is the truth. You guys need to suffer a little bit. But when it got tough, he walked it back. So everything is a trial balloon.
Larry.
Larry, I just think you're seeing things that aren't there. I don't know why this policy was changed, but to believe that somehow now the Trump administration and our U.S. government wants to advance the use of swastikas and nooses in an effort to make people feel uncomfortable. I don't think you have a lot of evidence of that.
Well, here's my thing: is that when you say that, Jeff, opposed to what would be when you say that, I don't know why it is, but if you would say, wow, that's quite interesting, I want to dig into that. Why was it even brought up? What was the relevancy of bringing it up? What was the purpose? Why would you have to walk something like that back?
Larry, when I'm looking at Larry, now I'm not certain that I see, the nefarious nature that you do inside of it, but I've got a different perspective. What I do see, though, however, is that inside of the command and control structure, there was a conversation about those symbols, and then a decision, even though it seems to be short-termed or even misapplied, to not classify them as hate symbols. And I'm sorry. I don't think there's any realm in which we can have a discussion and say that the swastika is no longer a hate
Guys,
symbol.
I think here's the Admiral, Kevin Lundy, acting commander of the Coast Guard, said the policy did not roll back any prohibitions, calling it categorically false to claim otherwise in a statement released on Thursday. These symbols have been and remain prohibited in the Coast Guard per policy. Lundy said in a statement, adding that any display or use of promotion of such symbols, as always, will be thoroughly investigated and severely punished. So it was categorically false that there was some type of policy change.
Okay, so for me and where I come from, and then I have my filters up and try to figure out. One last point, gentlemen, is when you're talking about is like following orders. All I'm just going to do is put out there, and people who have done that, I look at Jeff Sessions, who's a hardcore conservative. I look at Mike Pence. I look at Rudy Giuliani and all these people. But they, if Mike Pence would have followed what Mr. Trump would have had him say, Jeff Sessions became a rhino, and he was a hardcore conservative. But he became a rhino out of nowhere because he said, I'm not following those orders. But that's the great thing about America, and that's the same thing with judges and everyone. That's the good mixture of everything, because some people come to this say, I'm not doing that. But that's great about America, because you can do that. And to say it's a thing too far.
All right, Larry, I appreciate the call.
Yeah,
thanks so
Larry.
much.
Appreciate your
Larry
time.
from Denver. His line will be open. All right, let's talk Mountain High Appliance and their clearance center in Denver. Their clearance center offers a huge selection of ranges, refrigerators, washers, dryers, and more. Save up to 60% on open box, scratch, and dent display models, and overstocked appliances from Bosch, Thermador, KitchenAid, and many more. When you're looking for great deals on appliances, think Mountain High Appliance Clearance Center for the best prices and selection. Here's their address, 601 East 64th Avenue in Denver. That's 601 East 64th Avenue in Denver. Go check out their great deals with Mountain High Appliance. We'll continue. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
text messages, hot. We're kind of all over the place right now. I do find it interesting that progressives very angry about this policy with the Coast Guard, which I don't think is a policy change. Very clear that it's not a policy change, but going swastikas. Terrible! And then they're happy to paint them all over my wife's campaign signs.
That's interesting. That is. The fact that it is, yeah, that's, I like what you've done there, my friend, as far as peeling back the onion a little bit. That the idea that everybody was so upset with swastikas not being viewed as a hate symbol, mostly on the left, but yet on your conservative's wife's campaign signs, painting the swastikas. I like where you went with that, man.
All
nice job.
over there.
That's smart. That's smart. That's very clever.
They seem to. I wouldn't even know how to paint a swastika. I couldn't even design. I couldn't draw one out for you. They can.
Here's
they
the thing.
know how to do one.
So, one day when we have more time, we'll bring in Adam from the video room, and we will talk about how a very prominent Japanese wrestling promotion once sort of accidentally used a swastika in one of their promotional event posters. Yeah, it's a full-on swastika in the promotional event poster.
Have you seen, there's like a video out there of someone going like DIA's airport landing runways form a swastika.
Oh, that's going to be fun to watch. Hopefully the lizard people are the ones that designed it.
Yeah, they're the ones down there.
It'd be fantastic.
The original conversation, before we got over to whatever's happening with the Coast Guard, Trump calling Democrat video to troops seditious behavior punishable by death. Do you agree with him that this was way over the top as a video seeking to sow dissension and doubt with our troops, creating questions within the chain of command, and is a real threat to our troops? I mean, the video says we want to speak directly to the members of the military, that this administration is pitting troops against American citizens, and you must refuse these illegal orders. When asked what they meant about those illegal orders, they couldn't actually tell you any illegal orders or how the administration's pitting troops against American citizens. So Trump responding in strength, saying this is seditious behavior, punishable by death, even referring to George Washington and hangings. Let's go to the phone lines. Iggy in Erie. Good morning, Iggy. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. So I think basically it's the visual you got to look at there. It's a brand new stage, and who's missing from it? I don't see Schumer. I don't see Pelosi. I don't see the chick with the old chick with the purple hair. You've got one boomer, I think, on the stage. I think all the rest of them will look like Jeff and Bill, and I think they're presenting you with a new set of possible candidates for everything. Ooh. Jason Crow especially. Jason wants to be senator, and that's why he's making the big tour. You know, our next senator's going to be appointed, right? Wasn't Brittany on there too?
I didn't see Brittany in that one.
No, she was defensive of Jason. She came alongside.
But I do think it's important now, Iggy. I think it's important that I think the first it's either Slotkin or Kelly that are the first images inside of that video. And I think that is strategically important for exactly what you are talking about. The fact that this is a marketing message and they're trying to put these people forward. And I think that Kelly is trying to set the table to run against Newsom in the next Democrat primary. I'm not sure about Slotkin, what her designs are. She may be shooting for something like Vice. I'm not convinced yet she's shooting for the big office. But I think Mark Kelly does think he can make it there given the right strategy and if the table's set just the right way.
Yeah, he's the token boomer because they need a gray eminence in there.
They also want to do the astronaut thing. That's what they want to sell him on. They want to sell him on Spaceman. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know what else it shows me? How significant the loss of Charlie Kirk is, because he's the guy that spoke to all those young people in that generation.
That's really interesting, Iggy. One day, man, we got to bring you back, and Jeff and I should spend about an hour, maybe two, talking about the significance in our national conversation with the loss of Jeff's friend Charlie Kirk, as far as what does it mean going forward, how does it change things, and what can happen. It's maybe not for today, but we really should.
that tells you how big he was in the last election, right? Because
that's exactly right.
Very good point.
Because it sounds to me like there's just because of the conversations going on, there's a bit of regret in the younger generations that maybe they confusion or maybe that they voted for Trump, right? So and that was his big thing, was messaging. He could explain a lot of the stuff away, because a lot of these kids, and everything's on media or on social media, like X right now. The Dems are putting so much money in projecting all their BS, right? That they must. There's a lot of it just slamming. That and a lot of international propaganda coming in, like from China and.
Hey,
Russia.
Iggy, I want to ask you a question. I want to ask Bill this question, too. Here's a text message.
And
I think
you get to answer first.
0967 gets it pretty well. All these representatives in that video who worked in intelligence knew that this is how you do create dissent in a country, because that is what we do in countries we oppose. To do this in their own country is wrong and probably criminal, given the offices they hold. It's cowardly to encourage others to risk their freedom in order to fulfill their fantasies or fulfill the fantasies of these representatives. I think Jason Crow should resign. What do you think, Iggy?
Well, I think that text is exactly right. I think it is a psyop, and we're all in a psyop. You know, Sean Ryan has a whole series now about how we are being psyoped, through all the media, creating all sorts of, different realities,
Bill, I want to ask you about this comment. They said, look, these are all military members. These are all intelligence members. They know exactly what they're doing, and that this was offensive. Jason Crow should resign.
Yeah, here's the thing is I understand where the texture is going, and I do agree that each and every one of them knew what they were doing. However, I'm going to disagree based on the conclusion, because each and every one of them knew what they were doing and also knew that this idea of disobeying illegal orders is drilled into service members regularly. From the moment you sign up, you get reminders several times a year. So this message was tuned out by the average rank and file service member because they've heard it before.
Thank God.
This was a
They're
message.
tuning out the Democrats that are seeking division.
This was a message that was targeted at voters and the public. It was crafted, it was put together, and it was written exactly to go viral. And all it needed was some people to get angry about it, and then it would catch fire, and that's exactly
Billy,
what happened.
They say in the video, we are speaking directly to the members of the military. Iggy, I appreciate the call.
Iggy, thanks for that. Look at the first 30 seconds of the video and the last 30 seconds. Tell me it's not a marketing message. That's a marketing message 110%, because they also know the military members already have this message drilled into them. They know it. They understand it. They don't need it.
You know what's not irresponsible?
Ooh, what?
Using the black-eyed pea for Thanksgiving dinner.
Dude. Okay, we got to talk about this because, next Thursday, people are coming over. Now, It might be the first time you're hosting. It might be one of those things where you just got so much stress. You know how difficult that is. Now, the black-eyed pea has got the hookup. Now, you can do it and tell everybody you went and got this thing catered by black-eyed pea, or they will deliver it, or you can go pick it up. You throw it in all your dishes, and you look like you just threw down. Now, you can take away all of that stress before the meal about cooking, and you have got the best leftovers that everybody at that dinner is going to be fighting over afterwards. And you keep all the ones that you like. So they'll take care of you. They'll hook you up, everything. You can take all the credit or give them the credit. Plus, Jeff's got another thing he'll talk to you about on Thanksgiving. But again, take away the stress. You don't need it this year. If you're worried about everybody coming over and you've got so many things on your plate, I got to clean the baseboards and stuff like that because all that things and vacuuming and you know that. So talk to the black-eyed pea. They'll take care of you. You'll have the full holiday spread without any of the stress. And the price can't be beat.
8 locations. There's sure to be one near you. Make it a family night. Take them out to Black Eyed Pea this weekend as well. Look, They're going to be opened on Thanksgiving Day from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and serving all of your holiday favorites: roast turkey and stuffing, glazed country ham, slow-cooked pot roast, and your choice of 2 sides. For dessert, choose between pumpkin or pecan pie or the cherry cobbler. Perfect for the whole family. They've got holiday catering available as well. If you're hosting the family, Black Eyed Pea gift cards are always perfect for your spouse, birthday favors, or holiday presents, or as a thank you to someone special, get them a gift card. My whole family loves the restaurant. It's locally sourced. It's Maha. I know your family will love it as well. Keep it in Colorado and visit the Black Eyed Pea near you.
Now, Jeff, as we're talking about people going to the Black Eyed Pea, so you're throwing down, you're going with a family to Black Eyed Pea, you're sitting there, let's just say you're there doing the Thanksgiving dinner, you decided to bring everybody there. That dessert menu, what are you choosing off of those 3 options right there?
Dude, I go for another one, which is the Mile High chocolate cake. It's so good. And it feeds it's so big it feeds a family of 6.
Now, I just got to let everybody here listening to the Jeff and Bill show know that he just dissed pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving. I know.
Right, but that chocolate cake, man, you can swim in it.
It is so
soft.
good, man. It is so good. I just had to hassle.
How about you?
I'm doing pumpkin pie because of Thanksgiving. It's one of those classic things that I need to. But I got a rule. My pumpkin pie, the whipped cream on top, needs to be at least twice the thickness of the pie because I'm going excessive. That's what Thanksgiving and that dessert's all about. I'm going over the top, and I am going to hurt later because of it.
Text message here from the bread man wants to know what's the status of the Thanksgiving parade next week.
We are doing that on Wednesday. Now, Jeff has pulled the short straw, or maybe it's the long straw, and he's got the day off. Pete is going to be in the booth, and I am going to be over on this side of the glass. So Pete and I are together. Jeff's got the day off, but Jeff will be joining us late in the show to give us his own float. So we are telling you, start right now crafting your floats for this year's imaginary Thanksgiving Day parade. Who deserves it with both barrels? This is your shot to do it live on the radio coming up next Wednesday. Let's do it.
That's right. It's always a lot of fun. All right, we'll continue. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. We're talking the Democrats' video directly speaking to the members of the military, seeking to bring dissension and doubt to our troops. Trump furious, calling it seditious behavior, punishable by death. And then the Democrats getting very upset about him calling for the execution, they claim, of his political opponents. What do you think? Let's go to the phone lines. Arnie in Littleton. Good morning, Arnie. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Good morning. I was telling Billy earlier, during my time in the Air Force, I served at the end of the chain of command in a underground launch control center in a ballistic missile wing in North Dakota.
Wow. So you were that last end of the chain of command. You're on the tail
I
end,
was
Charlie.
at the end of the chain of command. In other words, if I got a message and it authenticated correctly according to a complicated system we had to go through, that was a valid launch order, is what it was called. And
what'd you think of that video?
Let me finish one part of this first before I answer that, because of my editorial comment. We had to certify before the wing commander of the missile wing. We had to certify twice a year. We would go in and he would brief us on what the capability is of our ICBMs and what the payload would do if on a target. And then he would make us certify that we were capable of doing what was called for if the launch order was valid. We had to do that twice a year. So in my realm of duty, there was no question as to what we had. I had a couple of instances that I remember in North Dakota where some kid, whether he was joking or not, was a second lieutenant, was part of a missile wing crew, and I think he made a joke about it, said, well, how do we ever know that these launch orders are valid? That guy was gone from the Air Force within 48 hours. So that's how fast it can erupt if you say the wrong thing or you think the wrong way.
Now, what about the illegal orders? What do you think about the impression of the video? What would you say as a former service member? What did you see in that video?
I'm pretty. I come from a strong military family, and I've all the way back to my grandfather, who was in World War I, and so I have a extreme view of those kind of things. And I say, put Jason Crow on the gallows and put the noose around his neck, and I'll pull the lever.
Oh, interesting.
All right,
That's
Arnie
a little
Littleton.
expected, Arnie, nice. I appreciate that, man. Huh.
He's going all the way on that one.
Yeah, he is.
Whoa.
Wonder if he'd feel the same way about those convicted of seditious conspiracy. Just out of left field. Be curious.
You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
This is KNUS. We'll be right back.